Hi guys, so this is day 10 and basically today I wrote all my 2600 words, and it was kind of easy. Like, I just sat to write and it just all came to me. And my character are arguing. That's something I'm really good at doing. My characters never agree with each other. I don't know where all that conflict is coming from, but I have like people who actually don't know each other. They are going for a dinner together, and you have some vegetarian girl telling the others that they're unethical and barbaric for killing animals because they eat meat, because the stew they're eating is meat. And so of course there is this other girl who is eating the meat, telling her that how is she barbarian killing animals when the other one is also barbarian for killing plants, because like consciousness is not only in animals or humans, it can also be seen in other things. So she disagrees with the ethics behind not eating animals. And the other girls say, I don't need I don't need someone like you in my life because you're unethical. But her boyfriend is also not vegetarian and eating meat, so at the same time she has this two side of ethicality. Like, for her boyfriend is okay, but for anyone else is wrong. So they have this argument over dinner, and Brownie, my main character, she's kind of always watching around, always listening before she's actually going to decide something. She's not very, she's not going to join into argument very easily. And basically what I'm doing here is I sort of recreate things that she saw in her past. So like, she, every time that there is something happening, she has this, oh, but this happened before in this different way in my life, how do I solve it better kind of idea. So that's what's going on for today's writing. So let me give you tips number 8 for today. So tips number 8 is don't edit. And I know a lot of you are going to say, but I have to edit, I cannot just start the second chapter if my first chapter isn't perfect, or if I'm not editing when I'm going to go for the correction and editing later on, it's going to be super hard because it's going to be so messy. Well, the thing is, it's messy. And if you edit, the thing is, if you cannot jump chapters, if you cannot go to the second chapter before your first one is perfect, this is what's going to happen. So you write the first chapter, it takes you forever, and you edit it and complete it and make it super good, and it's just perfect, and you're so happy with yourself. And you do the same with the second chapter. It's so perfect, you're so happy with yourself. You go to the third chapter and you write the third chapter, and then you realize that you might have left something out of the second chapter. So you need to add a little paragraph in the second chapter. So you go back to the second chapter and you add that little paragraph you were thinking about that is going to help make sense of chapter 3. But then while doing that, you mess up the prose in chapter 2. You have something that's not going right anymore. It doesn't sound exactly the same. And so you have to re-edit the complete chapter and add more things at different places. And you make it perfect. And then you finish to write chapter 3 and you enter chapter 4 after perfect chapter 3. But chapter 4 has something to do with chapter 1 because the flashback you put in chapter 1 is not as good as it could be because of what's happening in chapter 4. So you have to go back to chapter 1 and edit it to make it proper. But because you know what I'm going at? Like, you're going to change the chapter 1 and it's going to be perfect again. And then you enter chapter 2 and it's not fitting completely with chapter 1 anymore, so you need to re-edit it, and so on and so on. And it takes forever. And the writing already takes forever. You need to reach that 50,000 words. If you keep on erasing words, it's never gonna happen. But you decide to go and edit again and again. And basically you erase your precious words. You're not adding any more. You're just correcting something that is definitely 100% going to need correcting at the end of every chapter, if not every paragraph. And definitely it's going to need editing at the end of the novel. 100%. The best thing you can do for yourself is finish the first draft. It's a draft. It's supposed to be messy. It doesn't matter how messy it goes. The best thing you can do is go from point A, the start of the story, to point Z, the end of the story, and have it written. And then you can go back and edit as much as you want. It won't matter. And the thing is, that ache for perfection that you need, I know it's something it's really hard to go through. For me it was really a problem. It was so hard to go through and just consider that what you wrote today might be complete garbage and you might need to write it again tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. But the thing is, actually right now you don't. You have to consider that everything you write during this month, everything you write until the end of your first draft is perfect. And it is in the sense that you are making a perfect draft. You are making a perfect first effort. And you are completing those words. There is not better draft than a completed draft. There is no perfect draft than a draft that encompasses your entire story. And there is not a better draft than something with as much elements in it, as much description, as much adjective, as much garbage in it as possible. It needs to be big enough so that when you go to edit and have to cut parts out, it comes easily to you. It has to be complete so that you know exactly the entire story, and when you edit you don't have to brainstorm yourself to know what is going to be added in there and what part of the story doesn't make sense. You need to complete the draft, write as much as possible. That is a perfect draft. It's not a perfect novel, but you're not writing a perfect novel right now. You're writing a perfect draft. And you're making it perfect. I know you are. So don't go back and edit. Just believe in yourself, believe in your draft and your words, and go for it. That's the advice for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find them helpful. Have fun whatever you do. Have fun with your writing. And see you tomorrow for something else. Bye!